Okay, section 1.4 is absolute value equations. There's a few tricks that we're going to learn with this, a few definitions or properties that we're going to go through. First off, the absolute value is always going to be a number greater than or equal to zero. So that's one of the big things to understand right off the bat. The next thing is the absolute value of a negative variable or negative number is the same as the absolute value of the same number. And that'll come clear here in just a little bit. If you have an absolute value that has two things being multiplied, you can separate those out and do the absolute value times the absolute value of different things. Same thing with division, you can rewrite it so you have the absolute value of your numerator divided by the absolute value of your denominator. So here's the big thing that we need to understand. Anytime that we're solving and we have the absolute value by itself, in this case we have the absolute value of ax plus b is equal to c. And c has to be greater than 0, remember that. We're going to rewrite the equation in two different formats. We're going to write the ax plus b equals c, or ax plus b equals negative c. The reason being there's two possible answers. Absolute value is actually defined as a distance from 0 on a number line. So if I have the absolute value of 5, not a very good 5, there are two values that make that true. So the number 5 is 5 units away from 0 on the number line, and negative 5 is also 5 units away from 0 on a number line. So 5 and negative 5 both make that equation true. And I should write it like this: the absolute value of x equals 5. Alright, going on. If you have something like this, absolute value of ax plus b is equal to a negative c, that is not possible. So anytime you have the absolute value portion of the equation isolated by itself and you have a negative answer on the other side, that will be an instance where there is no solution. That's not possible. You can't have a negative distance. So let's look at a few. So I have, in the first example, I have the absolute value of x minus 4 equals 6. My absolute value is by itself, so I'm going to go x minus 4 equals 6, or x minus 4 equals negative 6. I'm going to go ahead and add 4 to both sides of the equation. Plus 4, doing both equations at the same time. I get x equals 10. Or x equals negative 2. Likewise, looking at this problem, the other problem that's listed, I have the absolute value of 3x plus 1 is equal to negative 5. Once again, my absolute value is by itself, and I have a negative answer on the other side. That means that there is no solution to that equation. Finally, on the bottom equation here, we have the absolute value of 3x plus 9 minus 10 is equal to negative 4. Notice we have a negative over here, but we also have something outside the absolute value portion of the equation. So we need to get this by itself first. So we're going to add 10 to both sides of the equation. Plus 10 we now have the absolute value of 3x plus 9 is equal to 6. Now we can go ahead. We're going to have a couple of steps to this. So we're going to have 3x plus 9 equals 6, or 3x plus 9 equals negative 6. We're going to work backwards. We're going to do the subtraction property first. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. We're going to get 3x plus 3x is going to equal negative 3, and we're going to have 3x equals negative 15. That's either or. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. We're going to get x equals negative 1, or x equals negative 5. Forgot my negative sign up there on top. Lastly, I really don't know if there's going to be situations that I did in homework that's going to have this, but if you happen to have absolute value signs on both sides of the equation, there's something you're going to do. So basically we're going to follow the same procedure. We're going to drop the absolute value sign. 3x minus 4 is going to equal x, or 3x minus 4 is equal to negative x. So we're going to take our x's to the same side of the equation. We're going to add to the one that was negative. We're going to subtract from the one that was positive. So we're going to get 2x minus 4 equals 0. We're going to get 4x minus 4 is equal to 0. We're going to add 4 to both sides. Alright, so we have 2x equals 4, or 4x equals 4. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 4, divide by 4. We're going to get x equals 2, or x equals 1. The other problem here, this one's going to take a little bit of room to write out, so I'm going to try to start over here on the other side. We're going to write 4x minus 10 is equal to 2, and we're going to multiply 2 times 3x plus 1, and we're also going to go over here. 4x minus 10 is going to be equal to 2 times the negative 3x plus 1. So I'm going to just do one at a time right now. We're going to go ahead and distribute 2, so we're going to rewrite. We're going to have 4x minus 10 is equal to 6x plus 2. We're going to take our x's to one side of the equal sign, minus 6x minus 6x. We're going to take our constants or numbers to the other side. We're going to have negative 2x is equal to 12. We're going to divide by negative 2, negative 2. We're going to get x equals negative 6. On this one, where we have to make it a negative, we're going to rewrite this as 4x minus 10 is equal to 2 times negative 3x minus 1. Now we're going to distribute. We're going to get 4x minus 10 is equal to negative 6x minus 2. We're going to add 6x to both sides. We're going to add 10 to both sides. We're going to get 10x is going to be equal to 8. We're divide by 10, and we're going to get x is equal to 8 divided by 10, or it's going to be 4/5. Again, I don't think you'll have any of this type of problem to worry about, so don't really fret too much on this portion.